It was. I was getting a little napsy in. It was nice. Huh! Oh. What's that? That's right. Things happening. Flexing. Have a little flex before the stream. Little flex before the stream. I'm old. I'm getting old, boys. Right. I'm always having a tricky poo. That's my secret. Hope everyone's doing well. Go on this. Bam! Beautiful Nopia. Right, I'm going to, for my next stream, I remember, get my lighting set up properly. So I don't look like my old Eve character, poorly lotted. What I was going to show is, I had it next to my desk for a while. Noobafire sent me a selection. This is a little while ago. He sent me a selection of 3D printed things, and okay, he sent me this. Okay, though it says BoredGamer UK, yeah. So I like to think that this is how Noob sees me. Sees me a bit disordered. He's sort of like kind of. But he sent me some more stuff. He's sending me some more stuff. He made me some more 3D printed things. Been sending them. I'm not actually sure what they are, but he keeps on sending me stuff. Oh no, should have never given the man my address. Thank you very much, Noobafire. You're an absolute legend. People, thank you so much, sir. Looking forward to whatever's going next. And I'll at some point display stuff a bit better in my office, which is a little bit overly congested. The audio's really quiet. We do that. And what else can we do? We can click on filters and go. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? Is that worse? Shouldn't be worse. How's that? Yeah? Is that good? Have some of that in your face. You know, scratch my nose. Bam. What? Leave Mike alone. He wants to be in the shot. Right, now I'm gonna put the volume up louder. Yeah. Who gifted you a sub? Nah, no one here would have gifted you a sub, G. Cameron gifted you a sub. Oh, I see. Like that, is it? Yeah, so that should be okay volume-wise. Oh, la, la, la. Tell me if it's not at any point. No audio. Oh. But am I still low? What? Volume is 10 out of 10. Oh. Can people tell me what they think of the volume? Is that it's better? Yeah? Do you need ASMR? Do you need me really into the mic? Is that better? It's a bit low. I can turn it up a bit more. I'll turn it up to 10 on my. Now, is that okay? Yeah? Is that okay? Is that okay? The problem is if I get really excited, that might happen. Is that okay? Is that rip ears? You're fine? I know I'm fine, but I'm talking about my volume. Volume's just fine. I mean, I feel like for some people that there was a quick fix that they could let me show you. Let me show you this quick fix, okay? I've got the world's first Idris kill on my. So go here, yeah. You see where it shows the volume. If you drag the volume up, I feel if you drag this volume up, I'm louder. Yeah. See, like just quite quiet when it's here. But then it's really quite loud when I drag it all the way up. Do you see? Do you see? I'm sorry if I was actually quiet. I apologize. Yeah, that is a beautiful digital potato emote. Thanks for sending that to me. Raging Sage, thank you very much for subbing. Very much appreciated. 32 months. I'm sorry that you've had to be subjected. I didn't even know I've been streaming for 32 months. That's a kick in the teeth for everyone that's had to watch me for that long. So, if you want to ask a question during the stream, question in brackets allows me to pick it out a bit better. Although I'll try, I'll look at some of the, people's messages, even if they haven't got question in. I might ignore them. Also, if I don't like your question, I might ignore it, but I'll probably ask it anyway, and then attempt to answer it. I'm not a CIT dev or anything, but I do, watch all their stuff. I do a lot of research in Star Citizen every day. I've got sources, got contacts. I go on the Star Citizen's leak Discord. That's got all the information, right? So yeah, I'm relatively knowledgeable about the game and what's going on. And I've got a reasonably well kept notes and stuff. So, and some of the stuff I wanted to talk to you about today is 3.10, because we've got the player trading app, which was recently shown off slightly in inside Star Citizen, and we've got Drake DefenseCon coming up tomorrow as part of Fleet Week, which is just an extra haul in the Fleet Week, and I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to get the Kraken and the Kraken Privateer. If you're what people would describe as a whale. Let's bring up the roadmap on my screen as well, because we've got lots of random stuff in 3.10. So I wanted to talk a bit about that. Are you disappointed in the current state of the game, and do you believe that this iteration, with its bugs and shortcomings, is backward step in the development process? Question in brackets. You put question. Is there a question about to follow, G? Or was that the question? I'm always a mixture of excited and disappointed with each patch iteration, just because there's more. I always want more, and there's always bugs and problems and always new bugs and stuff. And they fix stuff a lot of the time, and sometimes they don't. But for the most part, they fix stuff, but they also add a load more bugs. The patch deployments for 3.9 and 3.9.1 have been terrible, as in there's been server outages, there's problems with people logging in, there's problems with databases and stuff. So that aspect of the patch has been quite disappointing in the branch. The actual patch content itself, there's some good stuff in there, and it steps forward, but there needs to be significantly more stability when it comes to the deployment and backend services and the servers. So, will toilets have an impact? Yes, so they want to add hygiene into the player status system. So at the moment, player status system looks after oxygen, stamina, hunger, thirst, and temperatures. But they will be adding other things and other debuffs and stuff like that to it, including hygiene. So you will need to shower, shit shave, that sort of thing. And that will affect your hygiene. Probably sleep might be tied into hygiene as well, although that could just be tiredness as a separate thing, or it might not be a thing at all. What ship would you recommend for 3 to 4 players, sub 300 price range, and not combat centric? A Cutlass. A Cutlass Black is a great choice. A Cutlass Blue potentially is a good choice. The Cutlass Black's great. Freelancer if you like it. The Mercury Star Runner is a fantastic ship that could be probably what you're looking for. Drake Corsair as well is pretty good there. And Mercury Star Runner is probably, yeah, a lot of people are saying Mercury Star Runner. The cheapest possible option there though is the Cutlass Black, and then consider Freelancer, but it's much more likely the Mercury Star Runner is sort of like a slightly higher tier jack of all trades ship that is going to allow you to do a lot. I'm going to be working on writing a review of the Misk Reliant Tana when I finish knitting it out with the right components. Would you be interested in reading it? I'll happily look at it. You can happily post it on my community content section of my Discord as well. Natrium33, thank you so much for Twitch subscribings. Very much appreciated. Oh, Jock Cop sent me money. I love the money. Love the money. So, there's a debate going on at the moment whether there's going to be any surprises in the Drake DefenseCon. People are split. Star Citizen Leaks is adamant there's nothing in the current build. You? Question mark? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't had anything that's going to be new from Drake. Well, there's potential for lots of Drake ships and vehicles coming at some point. I haven't heard of anything specifically coming for Drake and DefenseCon and all that sort of stuff. However, Drake have a proper presence with their own haul. It's possible there's something, even if it's a faint possibility. And I think at the very least we're going to be seeing the Cutlass Blue. I mean, the Cutlass Blue flyable, that's pretty cool. Getting the ability to actually use that's going to be pretty cool. Could there be another variant of the Cutlass we haven't seen? Maybe. Could there be a new concept ship or a hologram of something? Yeah, maybe. I mean, they might use it to show off some work to the Vulture. It'd be great if we actually have the physical model of the Vulture or the hologram of the Vulture or something. I mean, that's a little bit less likely now, admittedly, because those files have been ripped apart by Star Citizen leaks, and there doesn't appear to be anything in there. But there could be something. But at the very least, expect full range of currently flyable Drake ships, the Cutlass Blue, which is cool for sure, and I would expect to see the Kraken and Kraken Privateer on sale during Fleet Week as well. Well, Drake DefenseCon, so that starts on the 30th, so Saturday the 30th at 7 PM UTC is when that's switching over. There might be some other little cool things in the verse. It is its own separate hall. It's got its hall literally off the Riker Memorial Spaceport. It's literally next to the hangars there.
Tricksy little hobbits.
So thank you very much, Jock Cop, for the monies.
BoredGamer UK is awesome and a great friend. Hope your dad is well.
So, I know that's a typo, Storm, but NordGamer is great for sponsorship purposes. Seeing I shill for NordVPN, and I will be stealing the term NordGamer. Thank you very much. Hope my dad as well. My dad is doing really well, actually. He's done better than he has in a long time at the moment. He's on some new targeted sort of like... It's very similar to immunotherapy with some drugs that have just become available in the UK. and he was very lucky that the consultant pushed for them, and he's doing extremely well. Forgive me. You are fully forgiven. So I think it was better that you called me BoredGamer. I liked that more. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. I hope everyone, as I said, is doing well today. Hope you haven't gone too crazy in lockdown. I know a lot of people have been suffering. I did have a really nice power nap. So I've decided to have a 15 to 20 minutes, up to half an hour nap, sort of like around 2 p.m. every day, my time. And the idea there is that I can get up quite early in the morning, I get a load of work done, I can sort of like finish that piece of work, then have a nap, and then basically have work on another project, is the idea. So I can separate the day into two, and then get 2 videos done, or 2 sections of something done. So today that's, today is actually sectioned into 3 things, and I'll explain why. So this morning I did a video on Inside Star Citizen summary, bam, and I'm trying to do shorter videos, and then break topics down into do an individual video about an individual topic, unless it's a summary of a particular video. So you'll see shorter videos from me, but more of them is the idea. But today, so the second part of the day is streaming, and then technically the third part is when we have the calling all devs on salvage and that sort of stuff. So there is going to be a salvage focus, at least a salvage question, I suppose, in calling all devs today. We don't know when calling all devs is coming out. At some point today. And I'm very excited about that because we want to know where salvage is. Is salvage going to be in 2020? Is it going to be a lot further out? Is it on the back burner at the moment and there's lots of other priorities? We just want to know. Well, I want to know anyway. I won't speak for you, but I will speak for me. I'll speak for you if you want. Hey, Bored, may you run missions with me? I will at some point. Chris Lee, feel free to message me on Discord or DM me your handle. Anyone that wants to play some Star Citizen at some point, DM me your handle. I'll have a section dedicated to it on my Discord at some point where it's got my handles that I use. You can have them all. And then any moderators or people like Zin that you'll want to add, and then we'll have some more organised play. I think that's probably a good thing to do. Get some organised play on the go, have some streams that are just, we're going to do this, and you're more than welcome to join us. We're going to, even if it's like getting B-roll. $3 special for you.
Special for you, give PLZ.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the monies. Lorenzo Key. You star, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Mwah. What else have we got? Ares Inferno, just got it. Any thoughts? Okay, so for fighters in concept, at the moment, the Ares Ion is my favourite. I really like the Inferno as well, don't get me wrong, but I love the idea of the Ares for alpha striking. Pew, pew, pew. Jellyhead Maid, thank you very much for subscribing. Very much appreciated. I never understand why people sub and donate and stuff. I mean, I sort of I understand, but I never understand. This is a difficult conversation. I always find it weird that people donate and subscribe and stuff, and it's very much appreciated. And that's obviously the nature of why people stream and are able to make it into businesses and stuff. But it's still very humbling and very nice, or at least it makes me happy financially. Thanks, guys. Any word back from CIG on why they do not add more ships for rent and sale in the game? Not yet. I have messaged a couple of people. What I'll do is I might poke a couple of people who are my friends that will might be able to push an answer from CIG in the short term. I might even ask Xylo and people, see like, is there a plan, and when is the plan, and what's the sort of understanding of when ships go flyable? How long will it be before they're made purchasable and rentable in game, or is it ship by ship basis? Is there no specific plans and they just sort of when they think it's appropriate? Is it because you need more shop types and we actually haven't got this shop type yet, so we can't add these ships into game? There are some motorbikes near my house, so apologies if you can hear the boom, 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 boom. But that's obviously an important thing. I want very quickly after a ship is or a vehicle is made flyable, I'd say by the next quarter, I'd like it to be in game for purchase and or rent. Yeah? So you have like exclusivity on the Reclaimer. Bam, the Reclaimer's released. Have it 3 months effectively when it's released in its major patch, until it's then made also purchasable / rentable in game. Yeah, that's the sort of like maximum I would want. And that's only during alpha. A little bit different when the game's launched. If they have to do concept sales or straight to flyable sales when the game's launched, I'm actually okay with that, as long as you can also get them in game at the same time. There you go. If you want the most earliest possible stage, potentially with an extra skin or something like that, or a little medallion that you put on your wall, cool, you can buy it. You don't have to earn it in game, you can just buy it. And I'm sort of okay with that, because the way I see Star Citizen's a bit different. And I see it much more as it's like Eve. Like, it doesn't matter if people buy stuff, it's not pay to win, although you can argue that it's got pay to win elements with the, at the moment, because you can buy currency effectively, and you can buy ships at the moment, but you will have to buy currency in the game, and then it's paid to have time removed. There's a whole conversation on that, but I won't overly go into that today. I've done multiple videos on that, and I'm happy to talk about it again at some point. Are you okay? I'm doing well, thank you very much. I had a really bad back recently, and I thought I was going to have to go see a chiropractor, but I watched a load of videos online about how to stretch your back and stuff, and over the last week and a half, I've been doing these back exercises every morning and in the evenings, and that seems to have genuinely just worked. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you very much. How old is old? Oh, I'm 35, I think, now. No, I'm not that old, but I'm old. But I'm not that old. Why do you keep shilling for this game? Part of the pyramid scheme? I don't get paid by CIG. I have now accepted a ship from them, though. I accepted a Cutlass Blue for a giveaway. Because I went, fuck it. They're giveaways from my channel. There are literally no strings attached. I will show people emails if they need to see them at some point saying, there is no strings attached to this. I was like, good. There's no strings attached, I'll take them. If I have to do anything for them and I can't allocate the giveaways as I want, then I'm not interested. But CIG seem to genuinely just want to... They have a budget allocated, I think, for community sort of like engagement. I think they probably call it something like that, where they... I think they're aware that people like me and other content creators and streamers are a huge source of advertising for them, and they just want to support them and make them, you know, want to stream, I suspect. Oh. When do you think we'll see more about Squadron 42? So, obviously there was an editing problem with the Squadron 42 video that we were supposed to have last week, or the week before. No, it was last week. We should get it at some point. They could have lost all the footage. They could need to reshoot it. The audio could be garbled. It's as far as I'm aware, it's nothing to do with, oh god, we can't, the Squadron 42 has exploded. I think on Star Citizen Leaks, one of the guys said, oh, actually I referenced this, oh, it's probably only delayed by a quarter or two at the moment, beyond their original estimates. And again, that's good if it is, as in, obviously we don't want delays at all, but that is less than expected as a delay. That's great. So let's see. Oh no. Oh no, you broke it. Chris Mees. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Oh. Oh. Thanks so much for the money. Very much appreciated, Chris. You star. What else have we got? Do you think of yourself as a sexy beast that you are, Mr. BoredGamer? I mean, I think there's a fetish for everyone, and I think that I'm someone's fetish out there. Yeah, that's fine. People, I mean, you go, oh, you little potato boy. That is some girl's fetish, and I'll meet that girl one day, maybe, hopefully. Over 'Your years of MA streams, have you asked Star Citizen Have you asked every Star Citizen question there is? Question mark. No. No. That boggles my... You've blown my mind. Could you please explain what insurance is in the game? So at the moment, insurance is sort of irrelevant. You can reclaim your ship, and you can pay an expedited fee to get your ship back quicker after you reclaim it if you want. Bam. That's how insurance works in the game at the moment. It's irrelevant. It's not timed. All ships have that. Yeah, all bought ships have that. Nice and simple. In the future, we don't 100% know how insurance is going to work because it will be iterated on as a system, but the expectation is that you'll have a certain amount of insurance for free on each ship. So you can see at the moment that some of them come with 6 months insurance, some of them comes with lifetime insurance, some of them come with, at the moment, 120 months, 10 years insurance. And when that runs out, you'll have to insure your ship for a small nominal fee in-game. Small nominal. That's a bit of a tautology. An in-game fee. And then that will insure your ship for a value, or so that it can, if you lose it, you can have a replacement sent to you or whatever. But it should only cover the hull and the basic outload of the ship. If you do changes to the ship, those changes probably won't be covered, and you would have to pay additional fees to have those sort of like Class A super military gear on all your weapons and all that sort of stuff covered. That's the expectation of how insurance is going to work in the future. Lots of different types of insurance effectively because of that, or customization of insurance for your loadout. But you don't have to worry about it at the moment, and you won't have to worry about it for a long time, and you will be massively warned. Chris Terrace, thanks for the content. Give me that Discord, and we will rule the universe. So Discord is discord.gg/BoredGamer. Bam. And feel free to message me. Chris Lee. What else have we got here? Oh. Sorry, I've got an itchy chin. It's ASMR. There you go. You like that, don't you? That's 50 quid's worth. Right there. Every time on the surface of the planet, I notice that a lot of the rocks pretty much consists of flat surfaces, and it looks pretty low poly. The ground looks pretty low res too. Thoughts? So, they're currently tweaking and adding more and more detail to the ground for their procedural tech. Expect it to look a lot better in the future. Some textures on some planets, especially the sort of like moon ones or the ones with single biomes or whatever, their textures and the way they've done procedural object scattering and stuff like that, which is all sort of like tricky techniques rather than physicalized objects in a lot of cases, doesn't look amazing, or it looks good at certain distances and not others. So expect lots of improvements to come there. Do you think one will be able to switch the turrets, scanner and turret, on the Constellation Aquila so that the scanner is on the belly and the turret is on the upside? Unlikely. Hardpoints are probably hardwired into the hulls of ships. Does making a statement count as asking a question? Question mark. Put topic or statement in brackets. You've got through to Star Chat. What ship would you like to talk about? That's, I mean, I could do that as an operator on the phone, I think. I think I get a lot of money. Hi, you're through to Star Chat. Would you like to talk to hot young men that like spaceships? I would. Oh, God. What do you think of the Gemini being a loner for the C2? I think I'd rather it be the Caterpillar. But, I mean, it's right. I think I'd rather it be the Caterpillar as well. I think that makes more sense. People in the concierge chat were predicting a 2025 release for Star Citizen's Persistent Universe. What do you think? Far off or within a rough ballpark? Within the rough ballpark. I think a little earlier than that. Probably 2024. Like end of 2025 seems reasonable. I mean, I think we'll have a beta before then, so... What do you expect to be for sale for the Drake ships tomorrow? Well, we can have a look at this quick. This is a good... This is... I said I was pre-prepared. But now I'm not anymore. I was prepared, and now I'm not. Where is the... wait, what? Wait, one second. Here we go. Perfect. Seamless. So for Drake, we have in the display hall the Buccaneer, the Black, Cutlass, the Cutlass Black, the Cutlass Blue, the Cutlass Red, the Caterpillar, the Dragonfly, and the Drake Herald. Now, the blue will be, those will all be rentable and on sale on the website as well. In addition to that, I would expect to potentially see the yellow jacket again because they keep on finding reasons to bring it back, which is annoying because I bought loads of them. I'd probably expect to see the Herald because their military will probably use it. If there's a viable way that the military could use the Herald, it will be in the sale. I mean, I said it there. It's definitely in the sale, and it's rentable. We'll see some skins, probably for the Cutlass. The Vulture. The Vulture's an interesting one because it's Drake's DefenseCon. They can do what the fuck they want. So I'm hoping that we see at least a holographic model of the Vulture. It'd be amazing if the Vulture's further along and they can show it off in the same way they did with like the F8 and the F7A. Not flying around. I mean, that would be even better. But I mean, like as a model. Corsair. It's an exploration ship. Could Drake sell it? Yeah, they could. Caterpillar, transport. I mean, again, it's going to be modular in the future, so they could probably get away with saying, "Oh yeah, it could be used to transport militias." So I'd also expect to see, because we know that there is a limited wave for Drake, 3 waves in fact. One on Saturday at 7 PM when the sale switches over to Drake. And then one at 3 AM UTC, and then 12 midday UTC on the Sunday. And because there are limited hulls, we've got to assume it's going to be one of the Drake Limited ships, which will be the Kraken or the Kraken Privateer or both. So bam. The Kraken. Kraken is actually one of my favourite ships in game. I don't own one. So I'm probably going to be... I mean, I want to pick one up. But there's so many other things I want to use my money for. So many other things. I'd buy better hardware or something. I think I'll get it in game. I think we're getting in game. Maybe I'll pick one up. I don't know. But it's cool. So it's basically a mobile space station with hangars on it that can repair, refuel, and rearm. It's got a big cargo bay and turrets, and it's got Dragonfly bay and all that sort of stuff. Really, really, really cool. However, there's also the Privateer version, which is pretty much the same, except it strips some of its cargo out and the Dragonfly bay out, and it has instead shops. So like a public market area, much more like an actual space station, and a private market area. So basically, it's sort of like putting the features of a brand new merchantman in the ship. If I was going to get a Kraken, it would be the Kraken Privateer. It excites me. It titillates me. Should I buy a Kraken or a car? Well, you're not allowed to leave your house at the moment. You get more use out of the Kraken. I'm not allowed to leave the house anyway, and I can't drive. I'd choose the Kraken personally. Will there ever be an update that is solely focused on performance? Yes. Significantly further in the future, though, when a lot more of the game is done. So like beta time. But they'll always look at performance. When they have like Vulcan support, when they have some of these major updates coming to the game, you should see significant improvements to certain areas of the game. Board, were you aware that Google Chrome has its own volume control? Yeah, but it shouldn't affect me. Like as my microphone, yeah? So the Kraken originally went on sale for $1,650, and the Privateer was at $2,000? $2,000. So yeah, they're both limited quantity ships. Interesting because I think they'll sell out instantly again. CIG must have made so much money. Let's have a look at their funding chart. We'll look at after the sale. We'll look at funding properly again, because Roberts Bus Industries / funding. So, yeah. So Let's bring this up on screen. So, I mean, it's these are big figures. So, this is by day. So, on the 22nd, we had them making almost, well, probably around 600,000. Then 900,000 on the 23rd. 800,000-ish on the 24th. 550,000 on the 25th. But, like, there's several million already. And then on the 26th, we've got 1.2 million. And then on the 27th, 1.4 million. Those are the best fundraising days ever for Star Citizen. Fuck. Is that the Idrises? That's the Idris waves. Man. That's a lot of money. Wow. Okay. And then yesterday, 1.2 million, 1.2 million. Living between that. These are... That's big. That's a lot of money. That is big money. Where's my cut? Look what I do. I've dedicated myself to Star Citizen for like 4 years. Give me money. Please. Just kidding. No, fine. I love what I do. Love it. So happy I got an Idris K, you monster. So was the Idris K kit on sale? Cogs. Because I saw a couple of people with Idris K kits, but I couldn't see it on sale. Do you have to have an Idris to be able to buy the Idris K kit? Because I don't have an Idris. I can't justify... I had an interest and I got a refund on it when I first started Star Citizen. Will the Kraken come with a bowling alley? I hope to God, now that you've mentioned that, Sea Lance, that they put a physics bowling alley in some of the ships, or have a modularity for that. One day, I genuinely think we will see a module which will be a bowling alley. And that sounds amazing. Boy, look at the number of subscribers that are on Star Citizen now. I don't... What? Where? What? Huh? What? Huh? In what medium? Screenshot me. Not me. Don't screenshot me. Screenshot what you want. Confused. I have 2 Krakens. Do I have a problem? Yes. So you've got, unfortunately, 100% a Kraken problem. So you need to get rid of one of those Krakens. And I'd happily look after one for you, Rel Sols. It's Rel Solus. I'll call you by your real name, your proper name, for a Kraken. Actually, you're talking about the Idris K kits from Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. Okay, I thought that maybe they sold again because I did see some people with them that had got them, or maybe they forged them, or maybe they asked concierge for them, or maybe you can only get one if you already had an Idris. Will things like pool table on the Carrack work, or is it just for looks? They'll work to some extent. Are we going to be able to play the physics games? Probably at some point. Is that a launch feature? I hope so. So at the very least, I would expect them you be able to pick up a ball and chuck it around, or the balls to all move. Oh yeah, 291. Yeah. It's a lot of money. It's a load of money. Here you go, board. I'm not rolling like CIG, but I hope this helps. Dark Shadow, thank you so much. I mean, literally, I say every little helps. Every little money you give me is more money in my bank account, which I like. So let me be a little bit less monstrous financially. So I'm taking on a full-time editor probably at the end of June is the plan currently. She's currently learning the ropes. I've just upgraded her computer and stuff like that. So I want to be doing a lot more Star Citizen content and getting a lot more involved in the community. I want to actually be running some events and stuff. So the funding that I've got from like Patreon and donations and stuff helps expand the channel quicker and helps me be able to do this full time, I suppose. But I'd still do it full time because I do reasonably well out of YouTube ads and stuff like that. as well, and like my affiliate links with NordVPN and Shadow and places like that. So this helps a huge amount though, and makes stuff a lot more stable, especially when there's got a lot of worry of taking on an employee. I do need a new router. Bam! Is that what that says? Probably says new router. Because my one's absolutely fucked. Playing Apex Legends last night, and I was just teleporting around, just going, "What? I've got like a gig download. What is this?" We looked into it, and it was packet loss and buffer bloat, and so I need to get a new router, and then I'm going to advanced tomato it, and then I'll see if I can do some clever settings for Star Citizen to make Star Citizen better, or run better, run more stable. Maybe, I don't know. That might not be viable. I'm learning how to use advanced tomato and networking stuff at the moment, but to an extent where I can describe it to someone else. I would love an air hockey table as well. So I love the idea of them putting in silly things like pool tables, air hockey tables, basketball things and hoops and football nets and all that sort of stuff, and for them all to work at some point. In the future, have a proper physics game update and have all these things working, and you'll be able to buy all of these things as modular improvements to some other ships. Cool. Fucking great. Have your habs with your bowling alleys. Have your outposts and your planets with your football nets and your being able to play basketball, whatever. Cool. Is your microwave near your router? Now that is a good Star Citizen meme. Oh my god. There's copper wires in my walls, mate. There's copper wires everywhere, and there's a 5G mast outside my house, mate. Maybe that's causing some interference. Man. Poor dev. So, that meme, basically a dev said, but someone asked the question, will you be able to get rid of 30Ks? And he explained that 30Ks were an umbrella term for loads of different client-server disconnects. And they can't ever promise they'll get rid of all of them, because there's so many edge cases that aren't necessarily to do with a patch. They can be to do with yourself. They can be to do with your computer, your hub, your router, your internet. There could be a billion other problems that they are literally out of their hands. And including, and he gave sort of like a wild example of people having their router or the computer too close to a microwave and it causing interference or whatever. And then people went, "Are you blaming my internet problems and Star Citizen problems at my microwave?" And in quite a serious tone. And I just felt really sorry for him. I was like, he hasn't done anything wrong there. He was giving a silly example to prove a point. And some people just took it and run with that. And I'm not sure if they were trolling him or if they were genuinely angry at him. So, poor chap. But, so, is the Carrack currently more popular than the Polaris? Or is the Polaris more popular? Hey, Board. Oh, Dark Shadow, I've just seen your donation again. So I'm just going to thank you again for the money. Ooh, thank you. I do appreciate it, genuinely. I never know whether to be really smug about getting donations or really humble or smuggle. What have we got? What size guns do you think the Redeemer will have? 4s and 6s. Yeah? 4s and 6s? 4s and 5s? 3, 4s and 5s. I don't know. It's more gun, though. Its gunniness has been made more gunny. Mark my words. Thoughts on trading tax? I think it's a terrible idea on one-way credit transfers, but on an actual trade, it makes a bit more sense, though I would rather see no tax. So it's just for testing at the moment. It was 6% in the demo that they showed, 6% tax on you sending transfers of money to someone else. So for people who don't know, in 3.10, the next major patch, which is currently planned for the end of June, they are adding a player. They're adding a app for trading, and it's going to have very basic functionality to start with. You can send merits if you're in prison to someone else, or you can send money if you're in the normal world and potentially in prison as well to someone else. And there's no sort of like handshake or anything like that. It is literally just, I'm sending money to this person. They don't have to be online. You can search for them in the app, and then you can send them the money. and there was a tax on that of what looked to be 6%, which the person that initiated the trade, the person that's sending the money, pays. So if you send 50 credits, you actually send 53 credits, and the person gets 50. Yeah, understand? Now, I actually think tax on all transactions within UEE space is a good idea. And I think that taxes might vary from area to area in the future, and there might be ways of getting around some of those taxes and doing stuff a bit more smart, but it might be risk and reward for that. So I like the idea of tax in general. I think that one of the other things is that tax might actually, if they do clever things with tax, like you get taxed a little bit more if you're in a massive organization. Like Test Squadron, sorry, but that org is huge. Now, if you don't have hard limit sizes on organizations, there needs to be a way that you artificially restrict them. And I'm not talking about like 90% of their money goes or anything like that. I'm talking about have a little more tax so it encourages them to split off into different units, so like structurally. But that's just my current musings, and please feel free to go. Don't like that idea, and it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that I'm implementing that. Don't worry. I'm just saying that there needs to be some form of regulation on certain things. And I think tax is actually a good thing. It also helps push the economy and the game forward. Is the Crusader Ares in development or not? We don't know for sure. I don't have it in my notes one way or the other at the moment. It basically says Crusader Ares unknown, I think. But they are working on Crusader ships this year. So they've been working on the Mercury Star Runner, which is going to be soon. And we're going to see the Hercules. And then I would expect for them to do the Ares after that.
I am going to buy.
How do we get into the Drake Hall?
Spaceships.
Is it the same place?
Thanks
No.
for all the videos and
Oh,
content for
how
Star
dizzle.
Citizen. I plan on picking up a Kraken. Tomorrow, Privateer or Standard. Also, what would you say to gamers who feel SC after all? This time is just a scam to get money from players in whatever release.
Hopefully people were able to hear that relatively well that time. So thanks for all the videos and content for Star Citizen. I plan on picking up Kraken tomorrow. Privateer or Standard, question mark. Also, what would you say to gamers who feel Star Citizen after all this time is just a scam to get money from players and won't ever release? Star Citizen is much more incentivized, this Cloud Imperium, by releasing products. Like, they can make money now, yes, and they can keep it going, and they can pay their staff and keep on developing. It is a viable business at the moment, a very viable business to sell development as a service. Yeah, not a great thing, development as a service. Let's make sure that never happens for like a permanent thing. That'd be horrible and maddening. But they're much more incentivized by selling products because, well, they'll make a fuck ton more money actually selling something that becomes much more mainstream, like Squadron 42, and it proves that they can do a lot of stuff, so it generally increases their exposure and marketing and makes their stuff more mainstream, and they can sell a lot more. So the more close they get to a release and the more product they release for Squadron 42 and then eventually like a Star Citizen beta, the more money they'll make, and they'll make a fuck ton of money. Like it's a fraction at the moment. It's a fraction. That's why the Colders wanted to invest. That's why they're so keen to invest the other amount as well, the 17.5 million. Again later, so 12.5. Originally 46 million, and then they added some more. It's because it's one of the businesses that are going to be doing really well out of the current situation, IRL, is the sort of entertainment and games industry, and Star Citizen is a beast of a game with a huge amount of people with large disposable incomes that feel disenfranchised with the current sort of gaming industry. And you might argue that some of its practices are anti-consumer and stuff, and you can certainly have problems with the project, and there's lots of problems that I mean, it's obviously not a scam, but you could certainly argue, are they incentivized to make a game, or rather stretch out the development? Yes, they're incentivized to make a game. They'll make a lot more money by making a game, and the closer they get to that, the better. I mean, they even see that. That's why they're sort of like have a team working on Theaters of War, because they were like, we need more product, we need more stuff that's polished, and that will be polished before Star Citizen is, for example. So, yeah, but people that say it's a scam, that's a ridiculous thing to say. But there's certainly problems with the project. There's certainly, but it's interesting. The project itself is a fantastic thing. It is warts and all. It's inefficiency and this beautiful project and the sort of like merging and making of these studios and teams and sort of like they work towards stuff, and there's delays, but there's also progress, and you see how this project evolves and have your feedback sort of like melded in with the game, and it's really interesting, and it's really interesting to see the community behind it. It's interesting to play it. It's interesting to see the flaws and the bugs with it. It's interesting to see what they do right and what they do wrong, and their weekly content. It's just fantastic. The project itself is much more interesting than the game to me, but I love the game as well, and I love it on paper at the very least. I do really enjoy Star Citizen, even as it is now, but it's because it's that whole project package for me. But I'm really looking forward to when we have a game that I can play in the same way I used to play Eve. In regards to your question, should you get a privateer or a normal Kraken? It depends what you want. If you want to be doing more cargo-y type stuff, if you want to be doing hauling at the same time, and it's a support ship for like a fleet or or military operations and operations that you're going to be doing, or a base for your ships, so your org ships and that sort of stuff, then go for the standard Kraken. If you are going to be using it to do trading and moving it around from system to system more socially, and you want to make money more sort of passively as you're moving around, and you really like the idea of like, oh, I quite like the banning merchantman as well, then go for the privateer. Thank you so much for the money, How Dizzle, as well. Thank you so much. That's a lot of money. Dark Shadow, that's a lot of money as well. And Chris Lee, that was a lot of money. You all gave me lots of money. And Chris, the other Chris Mees, thank you. Money. I love the money. Thank you. How do you think the secret passage in the Star Runner will become more useful as more ships are released and people forget about the specifics of every ship? So, I think that some ships are just going to have vents and passages and that sort of stuff. I think that the thing with the Mercury is that it's going to have a good system of being able to move around with lots of different vents / passages and like locks on them and things like that. So I think it's going to have more of that to more easily move around and more easily smuggle. Which company in the verse is most likely to create the first ground mining vehicle? Oh yeah, so they at CitizenCon they were talking about having a ground mining vehicle that they sort of like had roughly concepted. I would assume Tumbrel, maybe? Like a Tumbrel ground mining vehicle. Oh, Salty Mike, thank you very much. The artist previously known as Twerk. Thank you so much for the raid. You naughty boy. Are you Star? You're a legend amongst men. We need to, at some point, play some game. Play some... Oh, I probably should open up... No. No. What have I done here? Oh, no. You could have said anything to me. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. My chat doesn't use emotes. We're monsters. Well, some of them do. Very little emote love. You're much more memey than I am. Hope you're doing well, Mike, mate. Hope your stream was good. Stop with your weird spam. Stop with your weird spam and your clown faces. One the sugarite. Sughite? What? How do I pronounce it? How do I pronounce your made-up material? How do I pronounce it? Is it shitite? Is it? Where are those vehicles they were talking about at SitCon? So, they were in rough concept. So they are the Tavaran fighter, a Xi'an cargo ship, a ground mining vehicle, and a mobile refinery ship. And as of yet, they have not been revealed beyond that. It's not made up. Yeah, whatever. You made it up. Shugite. Shugnite. Whatever it's called. Good job. Good job. Hope you made lots of money and you didn't crash. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah. Will I be able to hold a poker game outside of the verse and have the buying in with Alpha UEC? I don't know. Okay, let me. I knew people that were involved in. This is like 12 years ago or so. In Eve, sort of like gambling and casinos, and they take the in-game currency and they do it, and you could do stuff while you were flying around, and they made a huge amount of real money from then transferring that ISK into real life money. Many tens of thousands of dollars. So there are almost certainly going to be ways of transferring UEC by some sort of means into people doing things like that, having casinos or poker or whatever. If it's supported in game, great. I think that's the better option. But I expect to see silly things like that. I was supposed to get any money. I lost it at the start of 3.9 and instead lost all my money again at 3.9.1. Oh, you lost all your money? I'm sorry, dude. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, it's sort of like Schadenfreude. Okay. It wasn't my money. Yeah? What is your thoughts on the changes to the Mercury Starrunner? We haven't really seen it change much beyond it's become a bit of a chonkier boy as it's moving into Grey Box now. Let's wait and see how it looks once it's got a bit more developed. Yeah? But I'm liking the fact that it's being worked on. Which one do you think will be released earlier, the Drake Corsair or the Crusader Ares? The Crusader Ares. Smaller, more simple ship. Tally or Eclipse bought with UEC? Do you have a group of people that you can run the Tally with? If so, run the Tally. If not, get the Eclipse. When is DefenseCon? Starts 7 p.m. On Saturday the 30th. So tomorrow, 7 p.m. UTC. And it is at the Riker Memorial Spaceport. So not in the Brevet Convention Center. It is the Spaceport in ArcCorp in Area 18. Shane Morris, will there be a shave your head minigame? There should be. We all know a shaved head's sexy. I love you, Shane Morris. Yeah, so if people donate enough, I'll shave my head. Yeah? That's a good donation goal, right? Perfect. There will be ways of customizing your character further in-game with like piercings and haircuts and stuff like that from inside game and beyond the character creation screen. So I've put a Squadron 42 vertical slice on in the backgrounds from 2017. Do comments during your live AMAs count towards your ship giveaways? No, I have no way of grabbing those comments out. It has to be a video created. So that's the only way I can actually grab the comments easily. Do I have any idea when the Tumbrel bikes are coming? Nope, I don't. It's the Tumbrel Rangers. I'm excited for them. I want them because they're cool. So I don't know when they're coming. What else have we got here? I'm really torn between upgrading my Ares Inferno to a Starrunner. I got a Carrack, and a Cutlass Black, and a 325A. If you've got the Carrack, I think you're probably okay, and you probably don't need a Starrunner, in my opinion. You probably don't need the Cutlass Black either. And then you could melt the Cutlass Black and the 325A into the Starrunner. That's a choice you have to make yourself. I mean, you get the stuff in-game as well, so that's what I recommend for most people. Do you think Squadron 42 will be in beta by Q4 2020, as Mark Hamill suggested? So, I think we could see them in their internal beta for Q4 2020 this year. We could. It's a possibility. Because been suggested from the Starsets and Leaks and some other sources as well that they're only like a quarter, potentially 2 quarters behind Squadron 42's original sort of like more recent plans. The original was 2016 launch, I think. Do you think the Corsair is a good investment as a medium-sized exploration ship? If you already have a 315p Carrack and Terrapin, no, the Carrack will do you well. The Corsair is I don't think it's a side grade or anything like that. I just don't think it's as good as the Carrack. Thank you, all the love, very much appreciated. So next time they allow people to be scanned in the game, which will obviously be after lockdown at some point, I'm so up for that. I will travel for it. I've subbed to your Patreon account as well. Thank you very much, Dark Shadow. It's very much appreciated. Star. I'm going to start doing a dedicated VIP video each month, at least each month, maybe each 2 weeks. I'm talking to Zin about that at the moment, or I will be talking to Zin about that. Upgrade the Cutlass to the Star Runner? Question mark. Thoughts? Okay, so if I had the money, yes, I do like the Star Runner more than I like the Cutlass Black. I think it does very similar things. It's just a bigger and better and has data running, and I like it a bit more. But I do like the Cutlass Black as well, and it's cheaper. So a lot of the stuff, as I said, I prefer to get in game. Do you think we'll get a games console on a ship for those long quantum travel jumps? So I think there's going to be lots of different things to do on long jumps. I think there'll be maintenance to do. I think there'll be lots of stuff to do on the Moby-Glass as well. I think there'll be loads of like pleasure apps, as it were. Not specialist men's pleasure, but things like gambling, or games, or whatever, or management. Are the Javelin and the Idris 100% finished? No, they're largely finished for their Squadron 42 needs. Do we think we might get a... Yeah, talked about that. Any word on the Electro skin now the skins are a thing? I expect them to be adding those in properly into the game within the next few quarters. With a lot of cons like BlizzCon already cancelling, is there any word on CitizenCon 2020? Yes, it's been cancelled. Tawajo. It's been cancelled. Confirmed. I'm expecting to see a CitizenCon early to mid 2021 though. What I mean by that is I would expect to see it in the first half of 2020 as CitizenCon, because of what I think they're going to do with Squadron 42's release. Alex Geese, Alex, any idea if we're getting more sci-fi asteroid fields, mix of super large and small and Swiss cheese like massive fissures, etc.? So they're working on things like the Aaron Halo at the moment, and they've been constantly, or at least they've been doing huge amounts of works on procedurally generated asteroid fields, and then various types of asteroids. So expect to see a huge range of asteroids for mining, for exploring, and see this huge asteroid field in the Aaron Halo in the Santa system, and when they've finished that. And we could see that by the end of this year. Will the arcade machines work in-game? I would expect so at some point. I'm not sure when. I would expect them to want that level of sort of like silliness and them actually work at some point. It would probably be pretty easy to make them work as well if you think about it. If you get scanned into the game, will take your appearance, but you standing on a chair forever. Oh my god, I will be the standing on chair guy. There's going to be so many other standing on chair guys, though. Maybe I'll be the first sitting NPC that permanently sits. Huh? Do you think about that, Shane? Thank you very much for those donations, by the way. Very much appreciated. Any word on... No, we talked about... Blah, 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 blah. Any news on Satterball? I'm actually pretty excited about the feature in sport. No, it's very much on the sort of back burner at the moment. I expect to see Satterball at some point in the future, but that could be quite far in the future. I think well after Theatres of War is fully polished. Any word on the Shadow of the Avatar crossbow? Nope, not yet, but I would expect to see a crossbow in game at some point. Probably the Shadow of the Avatar crossbow, or you know what I mean. Bear with 1 second. I just need to buy out. I'm actually pretty hungry. Alright, it's my knee. Oh, I am gonna buy so many spaceships.
Thanks again. I know that question gets irritating sometimes. When realistically can we see the Kraken fully flyable?
I know you just donated. 1 second. That is significantly better. Someone who sent me money. That doesn't. Thank you very much. You don't need to send me money to ask questions, but I will happily accept your money and answer your questions. So feel free to. Thanks again. I know the question gets irritating sometimes. When realistically can we see the Kraken fully flyable? Okay, so let me give you the wide answer. Within 2 years, yeah. And could it be something that they get fitted in really quickly at the end of 2020? It could be if they're working on it now. But it's much more likely sort of like if the priorities shift over to the Kraken for some reason, then it will be in the game within the next 3 quarters, sort of after they start focusing on it. Yeah? So we could see it by the end of next year, or we'd see it by the end of the year after, like almost certainly. I don't think it's something that's super complex, but it is big. And the Drake pipeline is pretty refined for ships, though, so bear that in mind. They are getting faster and faster and faster with all this stuff. What do you think the purpose of putting taxes on transferring Alpha UC will be? You support it? Yeah, thanks. Dark Shadow, so taxes help drive the economy. If you're trading within UE space, I suspect that different areas and different systems, at the very least, will have different trade taxes, and you could even have trade taxes based on your org size and things like that as well. Lots of factors could go into the trade and sales taxes in certain areas, which will help move trade around different areas and have people being a bit more crafty. But if it's a tiny amount of tax, people aren't going to care so much. But people doing huge transactions are going to be like, actually, I'll move over here, it's cheaper. But then there's risk and reward involved. So I really support tax in games. I really support tax IRL, and always you should pay your tax. But do you see what I mean? Like, I think it's a big driver for the economy. And if done well and sensibly, then it's a good thing. If just done arbitrarily and randomly, it's a bit just annoying. So I support it. I support it very much at this stage so that we can test it out and we can see what works and what doesn't work and why it works and why it doesn't, and that people can have these discussions now. Yeah? So when they have the first implementations of things, I always wish they chucked in loads of features into it and then reined them back and go, that's crap, that's crap, that's crap, that's crap, or lots of ideas into it. Any idea when we're expecting 3.10? Okay, so currently, according to the roadmap, it should be live by the end of June. Yeah? So that's live. But working from home and previous delays of like a month for 3.9 for its live build, it could be longer. Trying to decide between the Ares or Mercury Starrunner, which one do you think is better? It depends what you want, okay? So if you want direct combat, and you like the idea of like alpha striking or pew 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 pew, like in a more of a heavy fighter, the Ares. However, if you want to do much more multi-role stuff, if you want to be working with a little group on board the same ship, if you want to be doing data running, cargo, and a bit of combat, and much more than just combat, then the Mercury Starrunner is for you. For me, I'd go for a Mercury Starrunner in that situation, but I do also love the Ares Ion for alpha striking. I used to do alpha striking in Eve. Is the rumor about the unannounced straight-to-fireball ship still a thing, or has it been put to rest? Hasn't been put to rest by CIG, but certainly hasn't been confirmed by them. There's lots of unannounced straight-to-fireball ships that they're working on, as far as I'm aware, / vehicles. And could we see something else for Fleet Week as a concept, or straight-to-fireball? We could. It's much more unlikely now. What do you think about the Corsair release? I think it's going to be a while out. Middle of next year, end of next year. So a lot of it depends on, is it prioritized? If it's prioritized, it would be pretty quick. But there's lots of other ships and stuff that CIG are doing at the moment. I'm glad you picked up your Carrack, Dark Shadow. Good for you. I do like the Carrack. I think it is a fantastic ship. When do you think we will be able to log out and log in from other places than just beds when connection breaks? Get up within minutes. So that they're working on that stuff at the moment. iCache and better systems for persistence are being worked on now. You'll have it by the end of this year, it looks like. Downside to using the grey market. So grey market's not supported by CAG if there's a problem. Some people might try and scam you on the grey market, I suppose. You always use a middleman or trusted trader if you're going to use it. Understand that there is risk involved. Understand that it's not fully supported. Just understand your rights if you're going to use it. Talk to other people on there. Read all the stuff there. So that footage in the background is from the Squadron 42 Vertical Slice, and that is Gainy. That's Gainy, which is Odin 1A. So a moon that was around Odin 1, but Odin 1 exploded and became the coil, and that's sort of like a rogue moon. What do you think about farming mechanics, and what do you think they're likely to look at? I think you're going to be able to change the top soil on the ground. You're going to be able to look after and tend to some crops to some degree. It's not going to be constantly, oh god, water, oh god, water. I think there'll be some automation you can do with it. Obviously, you've got the Endeavour as well that can have the biodomes that will be able to grow plants based on where it's stationed and what it's got. So, and we don't know exactly what farming is going to be like, but expect it to be reasonably in-depth and to make a good amount of money. Hi, Bored, it's me again. I almost missed your stream today. I shall flog myself later tonight. Good job, DJ Brown. Thank you very much for the money. Why do people send me so much money today? Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Feel free to keep all your money for the sales. Yeah, thank you very much, bro. He does. Don't know what to say. Bunch of legends. Will we ever be able to share a hab with a friend? I would expect so. I expect there will be eventually organisation or shared habs and hangars and things like that. You should be able to give access to people to your with permission system to your habs, to your hangars, and that sort of stuff as well in the future. When will we get the Hercules? We don't know. Oh no, we do know. Do we know? Q4. I think they're planning the Hercules C2 for Q4 2020. The body phone rang just as you started. What have I missed? Oh, you monster, Dan. What do you see as the purpose for eventual player bases besides a place to keep your ships? So I think that you're going to have outposts which allow for the exploitation of resources on the planets, farming, mining. You might be able to do some science, might be able to do the mixing and manufacture of things. If you can have manufacturing, and then you can have places to store stuff in like fuel tanks and things like that, then it makes those bases much more viable and sensible to have as part of the universe. And like you have your own refineries there, you have your own mining facilities there, stuff like that. So I do think that's probably going to be a thing to some degree. No bases in our lifetime. Oh. Do you think the front size 7 manned turret on the Nautilus is fixed in the forward position? I think it's probably fixed in the forward position. Doubt it would be gimbaled or turreted. Do you think we'll ever see low volume, high value boutique shipments and deliveries be a viable income? Something you could ship in a 100 or 300 series and actually make good money on. I mean, definitely for smuggling. And yeah, I think you could probably... There's always going to be the opportunity to make money with trading in some areas. I mean, look, if you look at EVE, you can do it with very small items if you know how to look at the market and move stuff around to the right places. And I suspect that's going to be the same in Star Citizen. Some high-value stuff and some small high-value things. So risk and reward and things like that as well, though, isn't it? When do you think we'll have NPCs to shoot at? Like aliens or some sort of creature to use our guns on? So, actual FPS aliens, they're sort of like, at the moment, working out space cows, and I think Ranta or some other sort of like rat-like things or pests or something like that. But the space cows they're working on. We don't have NPCs, the humanoid ones, in the best situation yet. I think that the rest of that stuff will come after there's a bit more refinement to the AI. DJ Brown, I do like me some fancy colours. Good. I'm glad. I want to see everyone's... When we're able to paint ships more freely, I want to see people's ships. A very sort of like... Actually, let's talk about this. For the moment, they've re-added the ability to put skins and move skins around on ships. But not all ships have skins, only some of them do, and they're adding more and more during Fleet Week, and then you'll see more and more skins from patch to patch to patch to patch. And eventually, we'll have a more customizable paint system where we can actually paint our ships rather than just put skins on them. I'm not talking like freehand drawing willies on everything. I'm talking about sort of like you'll be able to set up something like this skin yourself, sort of like put the white and the green and or the grey, whatever, and the accents on it. We've got some interesting skins, but none of it's particularly amazing. I do quite like the black Starfarer skin, admittedly. The Fallout 76 skins, which is the Invictus 2950 more exclusive skins. Storm Surge skin looks pretty cool as well, admittedly. So expect to see like them for probably the Cutlass during the Drake Day. See them for any other Drake ships? It'd just be the Cutlass. Cutlass and the Dragonflies? Maybe? See you later, Natrum. Hope you have a good day, mate. No freehand drawing of willies, indeed. That's not confirmed. Maybe they'll allow it. With the death of the space mechanics, passing our possessions to our descendants will be a thing. Will there be a matchmaking app in Mobiglass for immersive minigame to make our descendants. No. Roleplay it, though. By all means, roleplay it. Do you think we'll be able to have player-made cities where NPCs can come and trade or not? I think you'll be able to make outposts where NPCs will travel to and trade. I think you'll be able to have your own physicalized hubs and hangars and stuff in cities. But I don't think you'll be able to make your own player cities. You'll be able to make a collection of outposts together, which are effectively run as a ramshackle town, I would expect. Does it make you worry that there is much effort in skins so far away from gameplay? Is there not? There's not very much effort into these skins. This is not effort. This is not effort. I'll show you effort. This is effort. This is effort into skins. Look at this, guys. Capucha. Kapuka. This dude. Look at this. I want my Star Kit and Javelin. Okay? Look at this. This is fucking amazing. People be so salty when you came along in your Star Kit and Javelin and shat all over their mining ships. Pew pew pew! Why did you do that? I don't know. Star Kit and away. Perfect. Any idea how close server meshing is? This game needs more players. That is true. We need more players in servers. They're currently working on a load of server tech, which is moving towards server meshing. They should be close to having server meshing in its first iteration by the end of the year, but it's more likely to be like first quarter 2021 at the moment. They've got iCache, which is the item cache, and they've got a load of stuff there they're working towards. You might see server player caps go up before server meshing, as they sort of refine their general networking tech stuff, but we don't know for sure. When server meshing comes in, do you think it'll be a problem, considering the size of the current game, and everywhere will be packed? No. I mean, server meshing isn't, like, happening really soon. I suspect we'll have a couple of systems at least, and lots of players in those systems would be good, rather than bad. It would be very good. Very, very good. And they can still have, in the shorter term as well, instances in those sort of areas split up. I mean, you're not going to see more than 10,000 concurrent players anyway, in the short to medium term, or at least in the short term. What do you expect from Calling All Devs today? Your opinion? I expect them to talk a bit about salvage and where they are, and then some of the other gameplay loops and where they are. Talk more about the refined ideas about salvage, and hopefully say when it's roughly coming. It'd be great if they say it's by the end of Q4 2020. Do I think it's more likely to be middle of 2021 now? Yeah, I do. But I'm holding out on hope. The painting bug in the PTU did a better job of showing us paint system than what CIG has us paying for. Yes. I would rather have a tinting system. I'd rather have putting a lever on a slot machine and have it give me a random colour mate. I did like the PTU bug where it literally just colour tinted your ship. What else have we got? Yeah, but it's a good topic. Thank you very much. Thank you for the money. Hey, board, it's me again. I'm supposed to stream today. I should follow. It's the same. It's the same one, DJ Brown. I love you though. I love you. I love you and your money. There's lots of. You're a monster. But you're my monster. What else have we got? Isn't the refinery? Isn't the Orion a refinery / mining ship? Yes, it's a mining ship that's supposed to have its own refinery on board, but it's more of a strip miner than anything else. I will call you Kyle, because your screen name is monstrous. Oh, I lost it. Corsair or Warden as a single sheep in a fleet. If you want to go more into combat, the Warden. If you want to go more into multi-role or exploration, the Corsair. Pardon me. I think my auto mods grabbed someone. Apologies if you didn't do anything wrong. Would you buy Port Olisar if it was sold as a pledge? No way. Unless it was super cheap. If it was under £2,000, I'd buy it. The Mercury Star, that sort of stuff I get in game. Like space stations that you can fight over, or large plots of land and stuff like that. Getting in game. The Mercury Star Runner, I think, is looking good. But it also looks quite weak weapons rise. Do you know if it's got a weapons upgrade? You'll be able to change its weapons on it so they are suitable for your needs. Do you think we'll see a Crusader capital ship in the future? Yes, because they literally have capital ship dockyards, and yeah. What do you think they're going to do with all the money from the sale? Well, cocaine isn't cheap. To start with. Hopefully put it into the game. I mean, Star Citizen this year is going to be their best year ever, by far, by a significant margin. You're the real OG. Thank you for all the hard work you do. Thank you very much, Tongues Tavern. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. The Sleep. Based on the way things are progressing, when do you think the first iteration of data hacking and data running will be in game? So they sort of talked about this, and they said that it might be coming soon in some form with like missions or something, but it might not. Like, it depends if it's ready. So could we see it soon after the release of the Mercury Star Runner? Yeah, we could. I think they're sort of working towards some very basic gameplay, data as cargo, or data running based missions, something similar to that, but we're not sure when it's going to be ready. When can I have my Big Benny's delivery skin for my character? Oh my god, please. Please make it a thing. Star Kitten things, Big Benny's things, they're silly, but I love them. I think you should get paid. If you've got a Star Kitten one, or if you've got like a Big Benny's one, and a skin on your ship, I think you get paid a tiny amount of UEC every so often, just from advertising them. Do you think what else have we got? But thank you so much for chucking the amount of money at me. Jezza was the last one. Oh my god, what's your name? Jezza Chadworth Musters. Legend. I hope that's your real name. There was no numbers in it, so it looked more real than a lot of the other ones I see. Corsair, talked about that. What's your best guess when we talked about the Kraken already? Wasn't the P72 Emerald supposed to be in game now? Mine is still white. Good point. I suspect it is supposed to be a skin that they were adding effectively. So you get P72 and the skin. I'm not sure what's not in. It's supposed to be in 3.9.1. It should be ready. It's potentially CIG have forgotten it. Do you think they will have more systems finished in Squadron 42, and when it comes out, they will quickly put them in Star Citizen? So I think that some of the stuff in Squadron 42, like the Odin system, needs a little bit more work once it's done with Squadron 42 before it's put in the Persistent Universe, but not a huge amount. So yes, I do think when Squadron 42 is released, a couple of quarters after that, you'll have Odin system in. And we don't know how many systems Squadron 42 is in. Is it an Odin system? Just in the Odin system? Is it in a couple of systems? How will true stealth gameplay work when it's implemented in-game, unlike just signature gameplay we have now? So it's going to be signatures, detections, management of your signatures, and that sort of stuff, a mixture of passive detection and active detection. Don't 100% know, but there's scanner improvements coming with stealth and detection in mind. And obviously that sort of stuff's incredibly important to the game, and sort of leads on to points of interest and exploration and mission stuff. A huge amount of stuff's connected to that. Do we have a rough estimate of when the Star Runner should be coming to the PTU? So into the Persistent Universe, into the live build, it's planned for 3.11 at the moment. So that's end of September, Q3 2020. I don't think you'll be able to buy the emerald skin. I don't think. I think it was just for Triggerfish. No, the St. Patrick's Day. Do you know when construction will be emerging in game as the opportunity to buy property on plats?
Will you attend my talk show next week? Send message in Patreon.
Oh, so Gelion, I did see your message yesterday, and I literally have forgotten to reply to you. How long is it for? If it's under 2 hours or under, then yes. I can commit for 2 hours or under for you, mate. Because I need to be able to check freely on my parents and stuff around the house at the moment. So I'm happy to, as long as it's under 2 hours. If that's cool, then I can commit to it, and you can start advertising it as it were. And send me the times and everything you need me to be there and why, and if we're talking about anything in particular, and if I need to be researched or anything, that sort of stuff. Oh, you didn't need to send me money to Galeon. Very much appreciated, though. I mean, it certainly gets my attention. You go, oh shit, he's giving me money. Now I'm indebted to him. Icarus. Users in here. I keep seeing people suggesting Cutty Black, but I'm not a fan of the aesthetics. Is Star Runner a viable alternative for solo play? I mean, it's not super solo ship, but I mean, you could probably run it as a solo ship. If you don't like the colours black, then don't get the colours black. If you thought about maybe getting stuff in game and like going smaller, just go for a something like an Avenger Titan as your starting ship. It's like a really great multi-role ship. They do a little bit of everything, and then you can get what you want in game, maybe. My video froze. Yes, Sigelion. So what I said was, as long as it's 2 hours or under, I can commit to that. But anything more than that, I can't, because I have to freely check on my parents and stuff. So send me times, dates, what I need to, what we're talking about when we're there, what programs I need to be using, all the information you can about what's going on, and obviously bear in mind as well that it's. I'll cry if it's at 4 AM in the morning for me. But I'd probably still be able to do it, but I'd hate it. I'd be in a bad mood. You monster. But thank you. Very much appreciated for the donation there. Contact at boardgamer.co.uk will come straight through to me. Also, Sigelion, you can get me on my Discord as well. I've confirmed that I plan to turn up. Is the kingship intended to be flyable? By the Vandal, yes. By players, we don't think so at the early stages at the very least. Will we be able to steal it at some point? Maybe. I think Vandal ships have a thing in them, they explode. Like, they very self-destructy as a race. Partly because they don't want players to steal them. But salvage them, probably. I did... No, oh, so you missed the beginning of what I said. I did see your email, Sir Galleon. I just hadn't replied to it yet because I'm lazy. That's what it was. I went... When it was on the 6th, wasn't it? It's on the 6th. I was like, oh, you didn't want me to go there, and it'll be for a couple of hours, and I'll be the one. I can have a sleep then. But yes, I'm happy to do that. Hi, Board. I'm an old new player. I bought a pledge in 2017, but I haven't checked it out since 2018. Do you think it's worth checking out now or waiting to a semi-full release? I think waiting till the next major release, 3.10, might be a good idea, or when Pyro is released in 4.0. At the moment, servers were problematic, and there was lots of problems with 3.9's sort of like branch. So there's a lot of... I mean... If you are taking a look at occasionally, then I think it's worth checking back with every major release a week or so after the major release and having a look at what's new. At the moment in game for Fleet Week, there is the UE Navy flying around, so you can see some quite big capital ships and fireworks and stuff. So it's actually pretty cool. So I would treat Star Citizen as a tourist attraction and actually check it out every 3 months, just very briefly, and go, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. I'm done. Master Giles, thank you so much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Legends. How do you think CIG will combat gold farmers with UEC with the introduction of the trading system? Do they need to combat them? Every game will have gold farmers. The way that CIG will combat it is they're going to be selling their own UEC, so they can affect stuff and say certain things would break their terms of service or whatever. But also because CIG are selling the level
Tricksy little hobbits.
of what UEC is worth by selling it, that actually helps restrict gold sellers to quite a large degree. Thank you very much, Anubis, for becoming a sub. Very much appreciated. Extended their tier 1 subscription through September. It's going to be a huge message for you. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I need a T-pose. I need a T-pose emote. Why was the Squadron 42 video really postponed? Huh? I suspect we will be told at some point, but I suspect it's because they're literally an editing problem, so that could be a lot of different things. Audio problem, could be all the footage was lost, could be all the footage was gargled, could be that everything was destroyed and deleted, could be anything like that. Could be something very small, could be they need to reshoot something. Delamars, I've lost my voice. Delamars, thank you very much for resubbing. Very much appreciated. You legend of a person. I've lost the ability to speak, which is probably quite bad, seeing that's my only marketable quality. And I look at a beautiful potato. Oh. How do taxes drive the economy? Tax cuts boost the economy. In real life, they do. They make people more likely to spend money on trade goods. But it's a little bit different. More people spend money on goods and services that then stimulates the economy, is the idea. But tax in Star Citizen helps give value to money, because otherwise you just have inflation and hyperinflation. Tons Tavern, thank you very much for becoming a Bored Star Citizen member, Bored Citizen, a YouTube member, a subscriber, whatever that one was. Thank you very much, you star. Legend. Yeah, so tax is really important because they help prevent inflation. They give more value to actual currency because of that. It's important to test that stuff out now as well. Who will set the prices for ships? Will it be the manufacturer or the player that sells it? So, players will be able to set a price eventually with the trade app, I suppose, for selling ships to other players. The ships that will be sold in-game, effectively, like in stores and stuff, dynamically priced. They're going to be priced based on the materials it costs to create them, the time, the demand, all that sort of stuff, and it will change. I need Defender or Mercury Star Runner. Mercury Star Runner. Unless you're desperate for a long-range fighter. What are your thoughts on the Apollo? Cool hospital ship. I have an Endeavour Hope. I'm really looking forward to calling all devs on Salvage today, yes. Do I think it's a coincidence that Drake days tomorrow with the Vulture? I actually do think it's a coincidence. But I'm hoping that we see at least the holo model of the Vulture tomorrow in Drake DefenseCon. Can you upgrade to the pirate version of the Caterpillar? I think you'll be able to purchase the skins separately at some point. How do you think CIG will combat Gold Farm? We talked about that. Do you think we could see the Kraken on Drake Day? Yes. Kraken, or the Privateer, or both, in fact. And because there is limited hull waves, so the only reason they'd have listed... Where have I put it? There it is. The only reason they put limited waves of 3 waves in that they list is if they were selling the Kraken. Or a new Drake ship, but as far as we're aware, there's nothing new other than the Cutlass Blue. Oh, you send me money to see your messages in fancy colours. I understand that more now. I've seen it in my sidebar. I'm so far behind. I'm so far behind. Oh my god, I'm a monster. Do you think it would be cool that once the proper infrastructure is in place, Chris Roberts and the team could have CitizenCon in-game where all players could attend virtually? I think there will be in-game events, and I do think there will be virtual attendance to some degree with those events, yes. But I also think there's always going to be a big fan fest when we're out of lockdown, obviously not always. You know what I mean? They're going to want to do a physical event. Physical event is good. Do you use head tracking or VR? I have a Valve Index. I have previously used head tracking. I do not currently use head tracking in-game. Do you think we will set prices for buying and selling ships? Yeah, when in your trade app, yeah. I suspect there'll probably be auction houses or somewhere that players can put stuff up for sale as well, in-game properly. And you'll be able to set those prices. Thank you very much for the hype train. Why are we hype train? I don't understand how hype train works. But I feel appreciated for the hype train. Let's do that. Choo, mother trucker. There's a huge exploit where people can dupe and trade billions of credits. CIG knows it's happening. Have you heard of anything regarding a total server wipe in the near future? So I know they can individually deal with players that have got huge balances now. So they might just do that. They could do a full server wipe. There's nothing confirmed though. I might need to grab a drink in a second. Most of the skins, apart from the camouflage ones, seems like stuff that we were able to do ourselves when the paint system comes in. Yeah, I know. I wanted a bit more going on with the skins, a bit more sort of like uniqueness to them, like a dragons and cool flames and more decalish than just colour changes. I think the Cutlass Blue is probably going to be $150. I don't think it would have gone up much in price. It might have. Like 195 or something for all we know. So don't take that as gospel. Will it be buyable in game? It will be buyable in game at some point. Probably not when it's initially released. Well, it's released now. Just check to make sure the Cutlass Black is Cutlass Blue. Cutlass Blue is currently $150. But it is the old model still being displayed. Any idea when the Ares will be flyable? No, but the Crusader ships are getting a lot of focus on at the moment. So the StarRunner and then the Hercules, and then it makes sense for them to do potentially for like Q1 or Q2 2021, the Ares. When do you think we'll see the Crusader Jupiter capital ship? I don't know. As capital ship dockyards have got to do something, right? When they revisit the Retaliator, when they have the tech for modularity running, how would you like to see it change? I just want general modularity to be able to swap out those torpedo bays for the other bays that we purchased. It's as simple as that. I also want to be able to move furniture around my ship, move other large modules around in my ship that are just connected to rooms rather than the whole room. With the Retaliator especially, I suppose, I want it just to have a bit of more of a balance pass as well. But once we have physicalized components, once we have a lot more of the systems in game, then they can start to do sort of like balance and stuff. How do you think CIG will combat? We talked about that already. Could large ships or fleets be punishing money sink like the fleet carriers in Elite Dangerous? Yes. So capital ships especially are going to be big money sinks if not used correctly. And even if they are used correctly, they might be quite expensive to run still. So yes, high risk, high reward, very expensive. Probably not in the same way that Elite Dangerouses were. But, can you put empty plastic water bottles in the proper recycling receptacle? I can't figure out how to do it. Not yet, but if you don't, someone comes over with a stun stick and beats you. What do you think they're going to do with medical gameplay? So in the short term, dragging. So you're able to drag people around. People will get knocked down and stunned more often than just killed outright. So instead of like, your health goes down to 0, you're on the floor stunned, someone can drag you away, someone can jab you with a medipen, someone can pick you up, that sort of stuff. That's just what I suspect to see in the short term. And then that will expand out to being able to diagnose things based on someone's condition, stabilize them, move them around more freely, treating them, and then treating them at different tiers of beds as well. Do you think they will fix temperature logic behind freezing in the planets, but not in space itself? So, no, you wouldn't freeze in space. Because the way that... It's the air. It takes the temperature away from you. It's the you can't... It's hard to transfer your heat from you into space. But the wind on a planet, or the atmosphere, that sucks all the heat out of you. Or puts the heat into you. I did a really good explanation of that once. Was not me trying to explain it to a child. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to patronise you there. Titan Suits 2020? I fucking hope so. I want Titan Suits. Give me the concept of Titan Suits. At the very least. I know, the effects of really help, otherwise you'd be confused, I know. I do like, hello kids, today we're going to teach you how ships work. Pew, 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 pew. And that's why pirates are bad. Do you think the Corsair is a good solo ship? I mean, once we've seen how server blades work for having AI in your turrets and NPC crew after that, I think it's probably viable potentially to run it like that. I don't think it's going to be a great solo ship, because they are intended to be run with more people. Like your star, mate. Thanks. Xco. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Should I buy a Star Runner? Get it in game. Get it in game. If you had the money to burn, and it's a cool ship. I know you just did one, but when do you think you and Zinnia will do another hilarious video? Okay, so we recorded for about 3 hours, okay? That was the first 45 minutes of our footage before we started recording properly. That was us getting somewhere and fucking around. There's quite a lot more footage for that. Me and Zinnia will be doing lots of videos together. Once she's working for me, probably at the end of June, there'll be very much regular videos from Zin. Obviously, they're not going to all be random, funny videos. That's sort of like offcuts, and that will happen as well in gameplay videos and things like that. But you'll see a lot more of Zin's videos much more regularly from the end of June. Like, I'd hope there'd be one every other day, at the least. When do you think they'll fix the ghost train? I hope soon. I hope soon. Why do they have to have train problems? Stupid trains. Do you think data running will be the same as cargo trading? I think data running will be similar to cargo, data as cargo, but I think there'll be some other stuff that you can do with data running, and I think there'll be more of a user interface with it and stuff like that, rather than physicalized data. you think we'll ever see a direct competitor to the Herald that's made for data running? I mean, the Mercury Star Runner, I suppose, is a little bigger. It's the closest we've got. We might see other data running ships, I suppose, like maybe modules for ships. They are working on the computer systems that allow for these AI blades and for things like data running as well. I don't know if you addressed this, but CIG will do anything to prevent. Will CIG do anything to prevent people using bots to buy ships when events like this happen? My friends can't buy a Javelin while at the checkout. Is it people botting, or is it just a load of people buying? And I don't know, because I don't know for sure if that's the issue. I can ask. The CIG site shows the Pirate Caterpillar with better turning radius than the regular Caterpillar. It's just a skin. The ship matrix has been bought forever. What are you expecting on the Drake interplanetary sail? Anything special considering the retracted words? No, it's more than just sticking. So Drake weren't officially invited to the event, so they stuck their Drake DefenseCon on the banner and on the flyer. It was supposed to sort of like be a couple of days after all the other manufacturers. They were supposed to have a talking about. Let me actually bring it up. Invictus. God damn it. Retrospective, that's the fucking word. So it was supposed to be a Invictus week retrospective. It's like a look back at the Invictus Fleet Week, giving them a proper send off. But Drake sort of like just stuck their logo over the top of it. That's what's happened. So Drake weren't officially invited, which is why they're not in the convention center. Which is why they're having their own hall off to the side of the Riker Memorial Spaceport. Still at ArcCorp though, but. Any chances of more surprises from Drake? Potentially, but the sort of like the cool things from Drake, the Cutlass Blue, try that out. That'll be cool. We could see maybe the model of the Vulture and the Kraken. It'd be amazing if the Kraken's flying around or something like the fleet, but I doubt it. Doubt it will be. I expect to see the Kraken and the Privateer on sale. At least the Kraken. Do you think the Hull C will have the capability of moving ships as cargo? Yeah, I do think that smaller ships will be able to be moved as cargo at some point. That sort of makes sense to me. Do you think that Corsair will be a good solo ship? No, I just it depends on the viability of NPC crew and AI blades. Do you think next year's CitizenCon, if there will be one, will be in LA again? Yes. Is there a way to request a full character wipe, like if you want to do a fresh start? I don't think so. I think you just have to do the character reset at the moment. You'll get a character restart at some point. I suspect as well that the devs will eventually have the tools to be able to do that. I think they put a message out saying they don't have any additional ways of resetting your character beyond the character reset tool. When do you think we'll see the first wave of hireable crew AIs? Depends on how well AI are getting built out in the short to medium term. But first, we'll have AI blades after the computer systems, so we can have AI, not NPCs, but AI computers effectively firing and manning our turrets. Computering our turrets. You're right, John, mate. Yay, indeed. Do you think anything else about the Cuddy Blue should be changed before release? Yeah. It needs to not turn like a brick anymore. They fixed some of its bits, but broke others. So yeah, it needs a little tweaking. What features are you most looking forward to and most excited about? Economy stuff, most of the quantum simulation stuff. That's super exciting and essential. Given your well-articulated lesson on the thermodynamics, why do thrusters take so long to cool in atmosphere, but cool so quickly in space? Oh, well, it's actually be the other way around. Well, depending on the atmosphere in general. So obviously it's very hot in the atmosphere, and the thrusters won't be able to disperse heat and actually probably gain heat. In space, they shouldn't actually cool very quickly in space, as far as I'm aware, either, to be honest. But the game is fun over realistic. So, oh, that's fun. Oh, fun. And you need to be able to use your ship, so they cool down quickly, so you just don't constantly disable yourself. What is it going to take to let us recover our dropped weapons after we die? Should we be foolish enough to run back into the bunker we died in? Insurance? I just think that sort of stuff should be covered by insurance. Do you think Drake loses customers due to the lack of ejecting systems? Yeah, you could jump out the airlock, can't you? So the thing is that ejection is slightly less necessary once we have physicalized components, because your ship's going to be disabled rather than just constantly explode. Yeah. You're stuck at prison. Okay. Oh, every time I use the elevator in the inmate processing, I get sent back to the prison bed. Okay, so go to the elevator, use the elevator, and Alt F4. Okay, go back in, and you should be okay. I did that the other day, and I was good. It was gold. Yeah, it's the other thing is, yeah, I'm not sure if people are botting for those limited hulls or not. Like, I don't know. I don't have enough information. It certainly feels that way because some ships sell out within a few seconds, but it could well just be people are lucky and others aren't. Do you think medical gameplay or engineering gameplay should require a high degree of skill to allow for specialization and rarity of high-skill medics and engineers? I think there should be the allowance there for people to do some pretty cool, interesting things with it, but I don't want it to be overly complex. I think it needs to be something that you need to be focused on at the time and ready to do, but I don't think it necessarily has to be super complex. Loadout preparedness, readiness, and smartness of doing it quickly is sort of like what I'd like to see. Do you think we'll be able to fully loot dead bodies, etc., or weapons and armor in the future? Yes. Do you think it is CIG's earnest to do something with backers that currently own a F8 by large package deals who know the ship is flyable, at the very least hangar ready, and not have it? I'm so confused what that statement was. I'm sorry. Got a bit confused by that. I think it's fine for them to have players have the F8 and it not be in game yet, and it be in game when Squadron 42 comes out, and then people will be able to get it when they play Squadron 42 as well, that haven't spent hundreds of thousands of billions of dollars in the game. I love your content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Do you think it's worth getting a Cyclone at the current time? And which models, if so? Just the standard one, if you wanted to get one. The Origin Rover as well, just the standard G12 is pretty good. I like rovers and cars and vehicles to have at least small amount of cargo available. It depends on what you want it for. If money is not an option, what's the best ship to buy right now? Carrack. In my opinion, the Carrack is so multi-role, fits so many things. I absolutely love it. We'll be able to harvest organs for the black market, kind of like pirate doctors. I'm hoping there are missions for that, and there is gameplay for that in some way. I suspect it will be mission related or slaves and people as cargo, rather than actually cutting the organs out. You monster. Why does no one talk about the fact that the in-game time is 29:52 during the 29:50 Invictus launch week? It's just it's like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Think we're ever able to give our names custom ships custom names? Yes, I think we will be able to. There was name your ship sort of thing, and I suspect there will be able to be ways of putting the name of a ship on the hull eventually. Isn't an AI turret pretty OP? What's the downside? They're going to be derpy. They're going to be very simple. They're only going to be able to do certain tasks. They might be quite slow as well at targeting and aiming and stuff. It's good. So, going to be AI turrets, and then the next tier up is sort of like getting NPC crew. They are going to be better than AI turrets, and then getting real players in those turrets is going to be the best option. Are there any good up-to-date written guides for grumpy old gamers who hate video-only guide thing, asking for a friend? I link your stuff, and they go, ooh, videos. I do make articles, typically, of those guides as well, on my website, boardgamer.co.uk. Pow, pow, pow! Pow! Plugged myself. I'm going to scratch my nose, fuck you. Do you think CIG will ever add a default action to Inner Thought? Simple actions are too cumbersome as is. What? Default action? Like what? Like fly? Like punch yourself in the face? What? Do you think NPCs will ever not stand on the furniture? Yes. Well, unless you want them to. But yes, I think at some point in the future, Star Citizen will be able to create a game where NPCs don't stand on furniture. It's really itchy nose. I'm so sorry. Looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm not. I'm just itching it. And eating the itch. What else have we got? I might dash off in a second because it's been about 2 hours and I want to go check on my parents. So I'll go through some more questions in a second, but I just want to go through this in my head. I've got it in there before it leaks out. So the rest of Fleet Week, I've got a Cutlass Blue giveaway going on, which CIG have given me a Cutlass Blue for giveaway. I went, fuck it, I love your ships. As long as there's no strings attached. I went, no strings attached. Give it away how you want. Cool. I'll keep it then. No. I better give it away. So give it away in the same way that I do my monthly giveaways, but I'm just cutting it down to just the Fleet Week. So it will end on the 2nd of June. Comment on any of my videos created between during Fleet Week to be in for a chance of winning that. Cutlass Blue. We'll also have the Arrow giveaway going on as well, which is any video throughout the month, including the Fleet Week videos. You have a chance of winning an Arrow. They both come with Star Citizen game packages, and they're separate giveaways. But I mean, if you put entries in any of the Fleet Week, commented on any of my Fleet Week videos, you'll effectively put in for both. So bear that in mind. Thank you very much, CIG, for giving me that Cutlass Blue, or not. I don't care. It's in your interest to keep me happy, in it. Look at this. I am Star Citizen. Oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I was an egocentric prick? But fortunately, I look like a fucking potato. So it's it's tempered me. It's tempered my mood. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you haven't gotten too mad in lockdown like I have. I'm really looking forward to working with Zone. I'm really looking forward to some of the videos and content and streams and stuff that we can get out. Thank you so much for your continued support. There's a lot of people on that donate a lot of money. There's a lot of people that Patreon and YouTube member subscribe, the join button. That's all so fucking useful. A lot of people subscribe on Twitter, Twitch. It's all super helpful, but it's also really helpful to share my videos, to comment on these ones, ask questions, to poke me, to bring stuff to my attention, to say, I don't like what you did there, or I liked what you did there, or do more of this. I've got an idea for content. Oh, have some video of me attacking the UEU fleet. Things like that. It's all really useful, like genuinely, and makes me happy board gamer, because I get to play games. I get to look forward to playing a game when it's completed as well. I get to enjoy the project. I get to participate in a community partially of my own making. My community is more of my own making. I suppose more of your making. I don't fucking know. I love Star Citizen. I love the community. I love it warts and all. And I love my community. Mwah! Will the G12 Touring be available to transport a large rye bread? What? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Space fry bread. What question is this, Jag? I like it, though. Do you think NPCs will... we've already talked about that. No, they will always stand on the furniture forever. Do you think the Connie Taurus will go live? When do you think it will go live? I think we'll have it for the end of 2020. I do think it's quite a minor ship to get in, but they didn't have enough resources available for it. There's no secret... Constellation rework. They confirmed that. When do you think they'll actually make escape pods usable? They need some more tech to come online. So I think we'll see it a few quarters after the Hull C goes live. Because a load of the tech that the Hull C needs, with morphing physics grids, multiple physics grids, stuff like that on ships, is the same tech that you need for drones and you need for the escape pods. And they are either working on or about to work on the tech that is the prerequisites for all of that, or the requisites for it. I could, if I paint myself blue, I could be a Smurf or Megamind, or a Fabergé egg. Thanks, guys. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel better. It hurts to sting slightly less when people call me a fucking egg or a potato, when I get donations when they do it as well. They tell me to fuck off, basically, by giving me money. I always like that. What are you hoping will change with the flight model in 3.10? That it's better? So 3.6.2... 2.6.3 was my favourite PvP time and Star Citizen flight model time, I think. I can remember. That's when I was not awful at the game either. That's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff they could do with the flight model. I just need it in a better place. It's not great at the moment. Will the Freelancer be able to have its guns face sideways, or is that a misunderstanding from the commercial? That is a misunderstanding from the commercial. That is marketing bullshit, as far as I'm aware. Any word, or do you know if they're planning to turn off the armistice stone side stations? Yes, they will be at some point. We just don't know when. They're going to be handling armistice zones and the green zones instead with security and guards and laws, rather than. But you will be able to pull out weapons if you smuggled weapons in or whatever. I don't know how the Star Citizen gift cards work, Roy. Do you have any love for the Ares? Yes, the Ion. I like both of them, but I really like Alpha Striking in Eve. I used to do Alpha Striking with a group like 10 years ago or so. So I really like the Ion because of that. I like the idea of a good support heavy fighter. Pew pew pew. But the Sleep, thank you very much for that donation as well. Very much appreciated. I just answered your question and didn't thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I need to go in a second. Let me finish these questions quick. Bam. What do you think about mission sharing rewards at the moment? They need to have significantly greater rewards for lots of these missions. And they need to have loot and other ways of getting money from missions, including, I think, paying out like bounties for every enemy ship you kill and stuff like that as well, and have other loot and other side objectives that you can do. So it makes it much more interesting and entertaining to do with these in a group, and then get the sub objectives and bring them back and stuff. You see what I mean? But yes, we want to. I want more multi-crew gameplay. CIG want more multi-crew gameplay. Everyone wants more multi-crew gameplay, and yeah. Do multiple comments increase chances? 1 comment per video is counted on my system. All the details are below in the video description. There is a link to how the giveaways work, and all the giveaways are pretty much the same. But 1 comment per video, because basically what happens is I roll for the video. It's basically spreadsheet. Roll for the video, picks a number of video, like number 7. That's my 7th video made during that month. Bam, and then it picks a random name from that video, but it will count all the comments by the same person as a single entry. So it's relevant if you've done 3,000 comments on a single video. That's still 1 entry. But if you did 3 comments on 3 different videos during that month, that technically would be 3 different chances. Do you see what I mean? Yes, so the Fleet Week ships on sale are 10 years insurance. Did they give us an explanation of what happened to Crusader from the roadmap? Yes, it's been delayed to Q4 2020. Regarding the freelancer commercial advertising bollocks, do you think it's likely for us to get better control of VTOL thrusters in the future? They're certainly working on the flight model. They're doing thruster power stuff, and thrusters going to be effectively weaker in atmosphere and things like that. So there's lots more tweaks coming to the flight model. The bare bones structure of the flight model is staying the same, but they're doing lots more tweaks to it, and combat in ships and functionality of ships at different speeds. Lots of changes coming with 3.10, it seems. I will be getting a computer that reaches minimum requirements soon. Do you believe this is one of the best times to join the verse? To join the project, yes. To play the game, no. And what I mean by that is that it's important that Star Citizen is seen as a living project, development as a service, where your voice and opinion and playing the game and finding bugs and being part of that is really important. But the game itself is not a sit down and play great super experience unless you've got an org or a group to play with, in which case it can be actually fucking fantastic. But it is frustrating, and there's bugs, and it can be soul destroying when you can't get onto the servers, or they've stuff's broken, or you lose everything. You're like, oh god, there's something a crash and I've lost everything, or my stuff didn't copy across to the major patch, so I have to start again basically from the beginning. So with that in mind, it's great as a tourist, but not great necessarily as a sit down and play game for a long period of time. But mileage is going to vary from person to person. Will we finally be able to name our ships in the future? Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Corsair, Smash, or Pass? Corsair's a cool ship. I've got a Carrack. No need for me to have a Corsair. Bored, love your content, your Shiny Potato Head. Thank you for all you do. Keep up, Captain Shiny Potato. Thank you very much, Skylark. I appreciate that. Development as a service. Yeah, I know, right? It's a phrase I coined, and it's sort of what Star Citizen does. I do not want that to become the norm for any reason, but I do think that CIG are incentive to actually produce a product and a game. But yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's development as a service, right? At the moment. And he keeps saying buy ships in game, but I believe, like myself, people are worried about losing ships in game bought it for wipe. Yeah, that will happen. Your thoughts on this? In the short term, expect everything to be wiped and changed and all that sort of stuff. Long term, eventually there will be no more wipes, and it will be something you can get in game. What I'm saying is, if you get it in game, you're playing the game and you're enjoying the game. If you lose it, is there a huge deal in getting that thing again? Yeah, you can play the game again, get more efficient at it, set yourself some tasks. It's gameplay to play. It gives you a goal. So I say get it in game, even if you have to get it in game every 3 months. I mean, that's obviously not viable for all the ships and stuff, but more like an opinion and conjecture. But I see CIG getting rid of the global chat when they get really big server population. No, I think you'll still see. You won't see global chat, but you might see system chat in certain areas. channels for that. I think it will be covered by the comm relays. So you'll have local space chat, planetary chat and stuff like that, and area chat, and then the system chat will be Comrade. So there'll be areas that don't see the global chat, that's what I'm saying, and they will only see local. What do you picture your ideal playstyle being once Star Citizen's released? Economy, so doing a mixture of mining and farming, organising social play, but I like making money in these sort of games more than obtaining items. So I want to see that UEC rolling in. I have a Constellation Taurus. I'm thinking about upgrading to a Mercury Star Runner. Worth the upgrade? I think so. I think the Mercury Star Runner is a fucking superb ship. And I like it more than the Constellations. Any clue to whether the ships during Fleet Week will stay on sale during the Drake DefenseCon? I would expect so. I'd expect the sale to continue until at least the end of the 1st of June at 7 PM UTC, and it could carry on to the 2nd as well, because they extended the free flight at least until then. How often do they have sales? Whenever they fancy it. They have a big one at the end of November. The Intergalactic Aerospace Expo is called. And it looks like they're probably going to do Fleet Week again every year around this time. And then they have a flyable ship sale with anything that's new, each major patch. But that's obviously typically quite small. And sometimes around CitizenCon, which was around the 10th of October, they used to have sales around that as well. And more minor sales throughout the year. If I were to upgrade my Prospector to the Mercury Star Runner, would I still get 10 years insurance? So, if you upgrade a ship, you keep the base of the ship. So, if you upgrade a package that had 6 months insurance to another ship, if you upgraded it, it would keep the 6 months insurance. If it had lifetime insurance originally, that original package, so your Prospector, if it has lifetime insurance, you upgrade it to another ship at any time, it will keep the lifetime insurance. It doesn't matter if the ship that you're buying is currently, so I'm buying a Carrack, so I've got 120 months insurance currently. If I buy an upgrade for a ship, it keeps whatever the current ship that I'm buying's insurance, not anything else special that's going on. It just upgrades the hull. I have a Constellation, literally just talked about that. Any clue to whether the ships on sale during Fleet Week will stay on, talked about that. When are we going to get better server group join options? They are working on them literally at the moment. Have a good day, mate. Thank you very much for the money again, Douglas Tavern. Oh, you stars. Thank you so much for lots of people chucking lots and lots of money at me. It's very much appreciated. Is there anything else? Is Squadron 42 playable at the moment? No. When we will have moving asteroids? Good question. Server meshing time? Have it properly done, I would expect. Because they need valid cache first, and they need a load of the other tech to allow it in the first place. So you could see it in theory later this year. I would expect them to want to have server meshing first, and then they can have moving asteroids and potentially moving planets and moons like they wanted to as well after that. Is there any benefit having a second game package on your account? We do not know. We do not currently know. Originally, they were saying you can potentially have multiple characters. But we don't really know yet. What happens if my pledge ship gets destroyed and it had no insurance in the future and when the game doesn't work? So if you had no insurance left on your ship and it got destroyed, it's possible that you've lost it. We don't 100% know. We don't know if there's going to be statutory insurance. We don't know if there's going to be, you get it back, but it's you've got to pay 75% of its cost or something. But assume, at the worst, that if you had no insurance, and it would have only been a minimal fee to have your hull covered, and you lost your ship, no insurance left, somehow, then yeah, you'd lose that ship. What happened to Crusader and Horizon development? They are, it's now pushed back to Q4 2020, so the last patch of this year. It just wasn't ready. It wasn't ready, and there was the lots of problems with, lockdown and working from home. What ship would you get instead of a Constellation Andromeda? Mercury Star Runner? It depends on what you want to do. Mercury Star Runner, or the Corsair, or the Carrack. Top end, I'd go for Carrack there. think the Dragonfly Yellow Jacket will come back on sale for DrakeCon. Probably. They keep on. I thought it was going to be super exclusive, but it wasn't. It doesn't seem to have been. It looks like they'll probably sell it again. Right. Anything else I can see very quickly? Right. I'm going to dash off. We're going to go find someone to raid. Thank you so much for sorry, Mike, the artist previously known as Twerk, for raiding me earlier. That is very much appreciated. We are going to raid Super Mac Brothers. Give him some love, because he is actually doing pretty well in the good old Star Citizen front. /raid. Oh, I didn't see that Maya was on as well. I love Maya. I love SMB. I will raid Maya next time. I'm hoping both of them do beautifully well. Thank you so much for watching my content, such as it is. We'll be getting Zin on stream soon at some point as well, and obviously she'll be making videos and stuff with me in the future, more and more and more. But thank you so much for your continued support. It's genuinely super appreciated. I'm going to be grabbing a new modem thing, because mine's crap at the moment. I get loads of packet loss, and it's fucking annoying when I'm playing games. I don't want that in Star Citizen, and maybe I'll be able to get a video on better settings for your networking bob for Star Citizen and for games. Maybe, who knows? But thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. You guys take care. I'll talk to you soon, and love you. Peace out. Oh, I'll link this here as well. People can jump. Oh yeah, you can't. So at the moment, you can't you can't customize rental ships. In the future, you might be able to customize them before you rent them. However, rental ships, if you go into your hangar, so not in the persistent universe, you go into your hangar, you can change the items there, and then go back into the game, and then have the changes happen to your rental ships. So, anyway, thanks very much for watching. Love your faces. You take care. Talk to you soon. Peace.